Today we will discuss 100 plus most important MCQ of mechanical engineering. The source of MCQ is based on most frequently asked MCQ topic in various exams. So I have prepared that type of MCQ for mechanical engineering. So let's start our journey. The most effective method of controlling SI engine exhaust emission is by using catalytic converter. So by using catalytic converter, SI engine exhaust emission is controlling. The power actually developed inside the engine cylinder is called indicated power. So this is also very important. The power actually developed inside the engine cylinder is called indicated power. If clearance volume of IC engine is increased, the compression ratio will decrease. So clearance volume of IC engine increased, then compression ratio will decrease. The basic function of the suspension is to absorb vibration and impact force from the road surface. So the suspension uses absorb vibration and impact force from the road surface. Damper in an automobile is used to dissipate the energy. So we are using damper in automobile for dissipate the energy. The combustion process in a diesel engine is constant pressure process. The combustion process in a diesel engine is a constant pressure process. The damper fluid leakage typically occurs from clearance between inner and outer tubes of damper. So the damper of fluid leakage typically occurs from clearance between inner and outer tube of damper. The compression ratio of petrol engine is nearly 8:1. So remember 8:1 is the compression ratio of petrol engine. The rigid suspension is beneficial when large change in load make it necessary to have a large suspension stroke. So the rigid suspension is beneficial. The included angle is the sum of the camber and SAI. Which of the following parameters can be adjusted by modifying the tie rod attachment length? So the toe is the parameter which is adjusted by modifying the tie rod attachment length. The lubrication oil flow in an engine is the order as: first of all, the lubrication oil go into oil strainer, then oil pump, then relief valve, then oil filter, then cylinder block, then cylinder head, and last oil pan. So this is the oil flow in an engine: oil strainer, oil pump, relief valve, oil filter, cylinder block, cylinder head, and then oil pan. A three-way catalytic converter removes CO, carbon oxide. A three-way catalytic converter removes CO, HC, and NO2 from the exhaust gases passing through it. Tachometer in a vehicle measures engine RPM. So tachometer work is measure engine RPM. One effect of detonation is loss of power. When detonation occurs in the bike or vehicle, that is the loss of power. So detonation is not good. The temperature indicating instrument in vehicle indicates the temperature of. The temperature indicating instrument in vehicle indicates the temperature of jacket cooling water. Ignition coil is used to step up voltage. In the engine, the ignition coil is used to step up voltage. The process of removing the burnt gases from the engine cylinder by the fresh charge coming into the engine cylinder from the crankcase is known as scavenging. So scavenging is the removing the burnt gases from the engine cylinder. The self-ignition temperature of diesel as compared to petrol is lower. So the self-ignition temperature of diesel is lower as compared to petrol. With the increase of battery temperature, the specific gravity of electrolyte decrease. So with the increase of battery temperature, the specific gravity of electrolyte decreases. The process of supplying the intake air to the engine cylinder at a pressure greater than the pressure of the surrounding atmospheric, that is known as supercharging. So when the pressure greater than the pressure of the surrounding, At that time, supercharging process is done while we are doing supplying the intake air to the engine cylinder. In aluminum cylinder block, the cylinder liners are made of cast iron. So the cylinder liner are made of cast iron in the aluminum cylinder block. The purpose of a balancer shaft is to reduce vibration. So balancer shaft is purpose reduce vibration caused by the crankshaft rotations. Free pedal play in a car clutch is about 25 mm. Free pedal play in car clutch is about 25 mm. The caster is called positive when the top of the kingpin is inclined to the rear of the vehicle. The main purpose of an engine air cleaner is that prevent dust and other foreign matter from entering the engine. So that is the main purpose of an engine's air cleaner. The device for smoothing out the power impulse from the engine that is called flywheel. By the flywheel, the device for smoothing out the power impulses from the engine that is flywheel. The main function of master cylinder is to convert brake pedal force into hydraulic pressure. So main function of master cylinder is convert brake pedal force into hydraulic pressure. The exhaust gases from petrol engine contain petrol vapors, water vapors, carbon monoxide and all of these. In case of diesel car, the pressure at the end of compression is of the order of 45 bar. So when diesel car, the pressure at the end of compression is the 45 bar. The effect of vapor locking on the brake performance is that the brake fail completely. So the effect of vapor locking, when the vapor locking in the brake, that is the brake fail completely. So vapor locking is not good. The connecting rod is attached to the piston by the piston pin. So connecting rod is attached to the piston by piston pin. Clutch facings are usually attached to the plate by brass rivets. The clutch facing are usually attached to the plate by brass rivets. Job evolution determine which of the following. So relative worth of job. So job evolution determines relative worth of job. ABC analysis deals with controlling inventory cost money. ABC analysis controlling inventory cost money. Work study comprises method study and work measurement. So work study, in the work study, method study and work measurement. A Gantt chart provide information about production schedule. So the Gantt chart provide information about production schedule. CPM and PERT are aids to decision maker. CPM and PERT are aids to decision maker. The difference between CPM and PERT is gas time are used in PERT while evaluated time in CPM. So gas time are used in PERT while evaluated time in CPM. The disadvantage of product layout is high initial investment for the specialized facility. So the disadvantage of product layout, high initial investment for the specialized facility. The critical path of network represent minimum time required for completion of project. So the critical path of network represent minimum time required for completion of project. Micromotion study is the analysis of working of man and method by using a motion picture camera with a timing device in the field of view. So the micromotion is the analysis of working of man and methods by using a motion picture camera with a timing device in the field of view. The main advantage of PERT over Gantt chart is interrelationship among activities is clearly shown. So the main advantage of PERT over Gantt chart is interrelationship among the activity is clearly shown. Which of the following is queuing theory used? Inventory control, job shop scheduling, traffic congestion studies. So all of the above, this is the queuing theory we are used. Standard time is defined as sum of normal time plus allowances. Standard time is defined as sum of normal time plus allowances. Time study is concerned with appraisal in terms of time of the value of work involving human effort. So time study is concerned with appraisal in terms of time of the value of work involving human effort. For which of the following reason is value analysis carried out? Value analysis to reduce the cost of product without reducing liability and reliability. Means without reducing the quality of the product, we are using value analysis for reduce the cost of product. In inventory control, what do you mean economic order quantity? Economic order quantity means optimum lot size. So economic order quantity is the optimum size. In part CPM, the critical path is obtained by joining the event having minimum slack. So where is the minimum slack? We are joining this event. So this type of method used in part and CPM. What do you mean by first piece inspection? First piece inspection means inspection before start of regular production. So that is called first piece inspection. OC curve are used for the selection lots by attributes. OC curve are used for the selection lots by attributes. In part analysis, optimistic time is minimum time in which an activity can be accomplished. So in part analysis, optimistic time is the minimum time in which an activity can be accomplished. Negative slack occurs when there is deficiency of resources. So deficiency of resources, that is called negative slack occurs. Which among the following is a basic tool in work measurement? So basic tool is the stopwatch. Break-even analysis is associated with which of the following? Fixation of sales value to earn given profit. So break-even analysis is associated with fixation of sales volume to earn given profit. What is the card? Bean card is used to keep record of material storage. Bean card to keep record of material storage, and bean cards is used to store. Work is considered positive when work is done by the system. So when called work is positive, so work is done by the system, that is called positive. When driving and driven shaft are at comparatively short distance apart and higher efficiency required, in this type, what type of drive we are used? That is gear drive. So when the driving and driven shaft are comparatively short distance and higher efficiency required, we have to use gear drive. The clutch ordinarily remains in a disengaged conditions when it is used to power transmission in automobile. So when power transmission, the clutch is disengaged positions. Which of the following type of centrifugal pump converts kinetic energy of pump into pressure energy? So kinetic energy of pump convert into pressure energy by casing. For earth moving machines, widely used engine are diesel engine. The correct location of economizer is between furnace and preheater. Between furnace and preheater, we have to use economizer. Compressor is a machine which is used to compress gas. Which of the following energy is converted into electricity in a hydropower plant? So potential energy of water. Which of the following is a unit of power? Unit of power is a watt. In a simple gear mechanism, in a simple gear train having two gears, driving gear rotates in a clockwise direction, then the driven gear rotates in anti-clockwise direction. So simple gear train having two gears, if one clockwise then other anti-clockwise. Which of the following instrument is used for drawing curved lines? Drawing curved lines, we have to use French curve. Saturation temperature of steam increase with increase in pressure. So increase in pressure, their saturation temperature also increase. During adiabatic process, heat transfer is zero. When the terms is the adiabatic means heat transfer is zero. Process of Carnot cycle are 2 isothermal and 2 isentropic. So the process of Carnot cycle, in the Carnot cycle there is 2 isothermal process and 2 isentropic. The air standard cycle on which the petrol engine work is the Otto cycle. All vehicles were used petrol engine, that is called Otto cycle. Pump is a machine which is used to lift liquid from low height to a higher elevation. 1 kg per centimeter square equal to 0.981 bar. Which of the following is a unit of electric current? So electric current unit is the ampere. The specific heat at constant pressure Cp of an ideal gas is Cp is greater than Cv. So constant pressure is greater than constant volume in the ideal gas. The process of sublimation is found to occur in solid CO2. A device which is used for remove the impurities from the boiler, that is called blow of cork. So by the blow of cork we are removing impurities from the boiler. Which part used in IC engine to convert reciprocating motion of piston to rotary motion of output shaft, that is the crankshaft. Crankshaft is convert reciprocating motion of piston to rotary motion. Which are of the following is not a rotary pump? So axial pump is not a rotary pump. The chemical formula of R12 chemical formula is CCl2F2. Which type of coupling used to connect shaft whose axes are parallel but not in one line? So when the axes are parallel but not in one line, that time we have to use Oldham's coupling. Compressor, in which compression of air from suction pressure to delivery pressure take place in more than one cylinder, that is called multistage compressor. So more than one cylinder, that is called multistage compressor. The ability of material to resist fracture due to high impact load, when impact term is coming, at that time we call toughness. Which property is called intensive property? Magnetization is the intensive property. In SI unit for the force is Newton. SI unit of force is Newton. The product of mass and acceleration due to gravity of the body, that is called force. So acceleration due to gravity, that is called force. The unit for pressure in SI unit, pressure unit in SI is the Pascal. Specific heat is defined as the amount of heat required to raise the unit mass of substance through unit degree of temperature. A system in which there is no transfer of mass across its boundary. There is no transfer of mass, so that is the closed system. Function of piston ring is to maintain a gas tight between piston and the cylinder. Water gas is a mixture of hydrogen and carbon monoxide. In the water gas, that is a mixture of hydrogen and carbon monoxide. The clearance volume in a compressor is provided so that piston does not strike the cylinder head. So we have to provide clearance volume in a compressor so that piston does not strike the cylinder head. In multi-stage compression as compared to single stage compression, the volumetric efficiency is more. So multi-stage compression, volumetric efficiency is more. Air vessel is used in single acting reciprocating. Air vessel is used in single acting reciprocating compressor. The statement that when any two bodies are in thermal equilibrium, when the two bodies are in equilibrium with third, they are also in thermal equilibrium with each other, that is called Zeroth law of thermodynamics. An isothermal process is governed by Boyle's law. An isothermal process that is governed by Boyle's law. Internal energy U and the product of pressure and volume PV is also known as enthalpy. So enthalpy is equal to H enthalpy is equal to U plus PV. Dryness fraction of wet steam dryness fraction is less than 1. In diesel cycle, heat is added at constant pressure. So in the diesel, that is constant pressure. So in the diesel cycle, heat is added at constant pressure. Which of the following set is of basic quantities? Basic quantities is the mass, force and time. 1 inch is equal to how many centimeters? To 2.54 centimeters. What is the unit of luminous intensity in SI unit system? Candela. Luminous intensity in SI unit is the candela. Which of the following instrument is used for measure temperature? For measure temperature, we have to use thermocouple. Which of the following instrument is used for measurement speed, velocity? So anemometer. And moving part of centrifugal pump is called impeller. So the moving part of centrifugal pump, that is called impeller. During suction stroke in a diesel engine, it draws air only. The compression ratio for the diesel engine is approximately in the following range. So 11 Zm1 to 20 Zm1, that is the compression ratio for diesel engine. When the driving and driven shaft are at comparatively larger distance, at that time we have to use belt drive. Which of the following type of belt is also known as positive drive belt? So timing belt is positive drive belt. Which of the following type of drive transmit power by friction? In the belt drive, the power transmit by friction. When the axis of two shafts are parallel, at that time we have to use spur or helical gears. When axis of two shafts are parallel. A device which is used for pumping the water in boiler, that is the feed pump. The thickness of gear tooth is measured by along the pitch circle. Reducing pressure angle on gear result in weaker teeth. So reducing pressure angle, when we are reducing pressure angle, at that time the gear teeth weaker. When the circulation of water in a boiler is by a centrifugal pump, then the boiler is known as forced circulation boiler. So thank you friends.